I got a lot of questions about immunizations, about when people can get their flu shots, and I would say right now is the perfect time to get your child immunized for influenza, starting now over the next couple months. Influenza season usually peaks in the winter time, somewhere between December and March. Last year we had an early peak in December. Other times, depending on when the strains circulate, it'll be later. So now is the perfect time. It takes at least 2 weeks before their immune system fully responds to the flu vaccine and gives them the full immunity. So getting it before the flu is widely spread in your community is very, very important. A lot of schools will offer influenza in the schools. That's one thing in Rochester that our school district is doing. So you can inquire about that, but otherwise bring them to your clinic or pharmacy to get the flu vaccine is very, very important. Routine shots that are recommended based on where you live in the world or in per states required is something that to look up and make sure that you're getting those done. I can't stress immunizations enough and how much they've really have helped prevent some of the diseases. And I've had so many parents come in and saying, oh, I wish I would have got my child the influenza vaccine when their child has influenza, because it's 7 to 10 days of high fever, missed school, missed work for them. They're miserable, and there's really nothing we can do to make them feel better quicker. And so get your flu vaccines. So the CDC, if you're in the United States, has great information on vaccines. The WHO, if you're worldwide, has good information on vaccinations. One of my favorite immunization sites is the Immunization Action Coalition in the United States, and has great information for parents. It has information for providers, information about everything from religious concerns to vaccines to concerns about vaccine safety, regular vaccine schedules. Another excellent website is called Every Child by Two, and that is really has an effort to try to get all children immunized by 2 with their regular vaccine schedule. Mayo Clinic also has great resources on vaccinations, but kind of looking at what your country or what your state has for requirements can also be helpful too. A common concern that parents bring to me is that they worry that there's too many vaccines too early, and they worry that there's too many antigens that the children are being exposed to. And so first of all, there's not too many antigens that are being exposed to, and it's not too many shots too early. These are just very false statements made by people who may be well-meaning but don't have the information necessary. The vaccine series that we give before age 2 has about 350 antigens in it total, and all of the shots that they get in the first 2 years of life. Now you can compare that to maybe the first breastfeed that a child gets when they have a lot of antibodies in that colostrum. That's much more antigens that they're being exposed to just in their very first breastfeed, and if you add that up, the number of breastfeeds that a child gets in the first day of life, that's 10 of them, and that's a multiple fold increase in the antigens that they were exposed to in the entire first 2 years of vaccine series. They've actually looked at studies about how many antigens or how many shots would it take to overwhelm the immune system of a child, and it would need to be 10,000 vaccines at once to overwhelm the immune system. And we talk about we're probably giving a total of maybe 15 shots total over the first 11 years of life, and that's very, very small amount. People also have concerns about what the vaccines contain in regards to antigens and preservatives. Most people do not use the Thermacell-containing vaccines at all anymore. I know we stopped using those many years ago. Other concerns that people have. I think if people don't want to vaccinate, they tend to sometimes find a reason for it. But sometimes the reasons necessarily don't have evidence or just are false in general. I know they're very, very safe. I feel so strongly in vaccines that the very first day my child can usually get the vaccine, I make sure that they get it just so they can be protected, because I've seen how devastating these illnesses can be.